Hello and welcome to another video regarding Maplestory 2. This time we won't be talking too much about in-game stuff, but more about websites. So I did find two very good websites. One of them over here is Cidico's website, which is really helpful for you guys to find some information if you haven't seen much about the endgame and such. A big shout out to Megmin, Renge, Union, or whatever their in-game name is. The Discord is over there, you can see it on the screen. Feel free to donate if you want to keep up with the website and obviously support the person that actually made all of this or with all the information. There's another website that we'll be talking about, but let's go on with this. The only thing I would recommend right now regarding this, I mean, you can still look up on every single tab if you want to look up on information about each things or features in the game. My recommendation would be going to the equipment stats at the level 50 plus tab. This is where we get the information about what kind of stats you can get on your items. So when you're farming level 50 dungeons, the purple items, Murphagoth, weapon that you're farming for, or any of the other weapons at level 50, you can have bonus attributes. So bonus attributes is really crucial for endgame when you want to focus on a specific stats, and we'll be covering that up a little bit later on, which stats is most important to go for. But as you can see, it shows up really neatly and really nice layout, telling you what stats you can get on each items, including armor, weapon, shield, offhand, suits, accessories, and then unique items as well. So going through the list, you're going to be able to see what items they are being focused on. Going down at the endgame equipment of the 50 tab, this will tell you a little bit more about gear score. It's important to get certain gear score for the game. I do apologize for the beeping sound. I do have some minor lags here and there. Let's scroll down. So important stats over here is accuracy. You kind of want to have accuracy so you don't miss majority of the attacks if you have a huge cooldown on a skill that deals a lot of damage. Yeah, accuracy is going to be important over there. Having about 90 to 110 is ideal. Piercing, definitely something you want to focus on because enemy defense is quite high when you fight bosses. Definitely the main stats that you want to go for. So it covers up over here saying that these two are the most important stats. It's a summary over here. Accuracy is your number one thing. I wouldn't say it's number one if you want to go for damage, but it's important if you want to go for in the long run. When you don't miss too much, then you obviously deal more damage. Piercing caps at 30%. That's something we covered up in our previous video. Piercing is really important. 30% is roughly the limit before diminishing returns. But try to aim as high as possible if you can get pieces of equipment with piercing. Magical and physical of piercing, that caps at 15, but it does say it's recommended for 10%. And then the last stats that you want to focus on for your class is total damage, boss damage, melee or range damage. So if you're a melee class, go with melee damage, boss damage or total damage. And if you're a range DPS, then you go with range, boss or total damage as your last stats. More information or detail about each stats is shown over here. It's being detailed, or it's being described on why they are better than the other. Another thing here is critical damage. One of the important stats, for example, for Assassin, because Assassin has the ability to have 100% crit, so using that crit damage stats for your character is really important for Assassins. And of course there's not much to talk about here. I mean, it does show you what to focus on if you're choosing a specific piece. So for example, for ring, you kind of want to go for piercing attack speed. Subject can be changed, but piercing is important for rings, piercing on necklace, accuracy, attack, or any stats on the gemstones that you socket on your character, on the accessories. That's something we can talk about a little bit more in the future. There are videos like over here from Mapleweeb that you can look up on into. But if you do want to follow me instead and talk a little bit more about it, feel free to comment that on the description below. I'm not really that knowledgeable regarding gemstones, but it's something to be looking up on when you want to min-max your character. Yeah, so cape, piercing, obviously, belt has piercing. Any armor pieces has boss damage on their equipments. You can also obviously look at the previous tab or previous link regarding which stats you want to go for on your armor. Gloves has obviously physical and magical piercing. Shoes has movement speed and boss damage that you want to go for, and weapons has physical, regular piercing, physical, and magical piercing, and then boss damage, blah 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 blah, as we can see over here. So that's all I had to cover for this website. It's really helpful if you do want to look up on the things over and again. I'll be commenting in the description regarding the accuracy that you want to focus on, the amount of accuracy you want to go for, piercing cap, etc. Yeah. So going off to the second website, this is a website where you can actually share your skill builds. So if you're trying to share this with your friends or whatnot, you can do that. You can change out your classes, etc. This will be easier for me to cover up instead of doing it in-game or in a video, because I can now link the build, obviously. Doing this will also help out for you guys to check it out on a website, on a flat page, instead of looking up on the specific timestamp on the video. Really good website, obviously, and the most important part for this website, in my opinion, is the Explore version. So if you click on one of these zones, you'll be able to see which map has golden chest, and you can see over here that there's quite a lot of golden chests. I wouldn't say they are always up, but it gives you a hum on where the location of the chests are. So if you can't find any one on the left side, for example, you can find one on maybe some golden chests on the right side. And this is for rusty keys. So rusty keys is something you will collect, and that's something you're gonna identify or analyze at Tria from by the NPC Natalie. Natalie's available on the northwestern part of Tria. She's near the library, and she has a green icon above her head. But you identify or analyze your keys. Hopefully you can get the B4 key to enter, and you do that with your party member or with your raid static core to get some gemstones out of it. So that's the important part, and if you do want to farm chests, this is the golden mine of a link that you can go and look around. My best suggestion would be go for a map, change channel, and check out every single chest in every channel before you head out to another map and do the same thing, if you're really focused on doing that. Another thing that I would like to point out is, if you do analyze your keys, remember that the price will go up every time you analyze the key. So it starts off at 100k, and then it goes to 300k on the second key, and then the third key will be 500k, 700k, 900k, etc. It goes up by 200k every time. So my recommendation would be 1 to 2 keys on each character, and then if you have alts, you can do that as well on you can identify on the alts as well, 100k and then 200 and then 300k. So going off with the builds, I've been mentioned about going with my Berserker. If I can make a quick update, I'll be doing that in the next video or in the future video. I'm probably gonna be using the skill build over here to link on the description in that video, and obviously I'll showcase it on the video in-game instead. But thank you very much for watching. This is two very good websites that you can use, very useful. I'll link it in the description, and hopefully you guys have some interest into looking up into more about endgame stuff. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.